Sitting out here watching these flowers. And my sister just sends me a text and gave me just great inspiration to talk about something today that I want to share with you. With something that I think about a lot, something that I'm constantly always wondering and in a way confused with. And I wonder how many of y'all also confused with the purpose of what is life? What is it that's going on out here? What is it that we're doing? What is it that we should focus our energy on and our time on? And what is it that we should let go? What is life? What is the concept of what it is that we do on a day-to-day, that we're just constantly working, constantly moving, constantly growing, constantly doing what we're doing? What is the point of that? My name is Mark Anthony Dubois Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. Today, it's a very interesting day because I had a very, very challenging day yesterday with doing some work that really got me in a jam today. That don't ever underestimate the power of what a small, insignificant little bug can do to you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They are very powerful, even though they're small. They pack such a punch. So be very careful of all the living creatures and the living things and the life that's out here, because you may stumble upon into something that you thought was just not so much, but then it ended up being able to just ruthlessly being able to just change up everything about you really fast because of what it's done to you. It's something interesting that I just get so fascinated with, the whole concept of life and every life force out here and every life being out here. Just looking at these flowers back here and just wondering what's the point of them, where they're literally going to grow. The seed went in the ground, it sprouted, it started to grow, it built the foundation, it's doing everything in its power to be able to survive and be able to do what it needs to do. So for this flower, it's to just get out, bloom out, and then in reality, it's just a food source for something else to be able to eat. Which is crazy because that's like the majority of what everything out here grows is to do, is to be a food source for something else. It's not really just growing to be pretty, it's growing to do something, to be able to supply something to another species, another animal, another being, another something else. So something like that really gets me thinking a lot with certain stuff that goes on in my day-to-day with my thoughts. As us as human beings, what are we growing up to be able to do? What are we building our foundation for? What are we doing to be able to put our roots in, to be able to grow and to be able to become? Because these things out here are all doing what they're doing to the absolute best of their ability. They are preying upon getting better weather. They're preying upon getting more rain. They're preying upon the invasive species to just please leave me alone. Please leave me alone, even though they can't run away from it. That's something that's super fascinating to just the concept of us as human beings as well. We can't run away from the invasive species that are there. There's stuff, there's chaos, there's madness out there, but we can't go anywhere on this earth to just get away from it. We have to endure it. We have to deal with it. We have to figure out how to be able to push through and be able to get past it. And some of us don't make it. Some of the sunflowers don't make it. Some of them just go so far and then they're done. And that's the same with us as human beings. Some of us last 2 years. Some of us last 2 months. Some of us don't even get to that point of birth and we just pass away before that. And some of us live to 119 and 118 years old. It's a very interesting thing. It's like, how was it for that person to be able to endure all the, say, pests and problems and chaos, as opposed to the other person was able to just deal with it and be able to get through it. And then still, when you get to that end stage, when this flower finally gets to its end stage and it dies and it passes away, it's doing something. And it's doing something, in my opinion, very, very spectacular in a way of being able to make sure that it's able to just give back to the rest that's out here. And that's something that I just question with my life and myself and life and human life and what we do. That I think that a lot of times we're out here living this life, struggling in this life, not realizing that we should be doing everything in our power to make sure that our life is a life to be able to make sure that when we pass away, we're able to give something of significant value away to the others that are still around, that are still here. And that's something that really puts a lot of thought into me about worrying about things that I need to care about and letting go of stuff that I should just never even focus any of my time, any of my life, any of my energy on anymore. So just trying to buy and purchase and get stuff to just look cool and be cool and sound nice and look fancy and do all that stuff, where no one 100 years from when I'm dead is going to care or matter about any of that. None of that's going to matter. But they have something that I could do of purpose, of value, of life changing, for being able to Sorry, I thought there was a snake right there. I'm going to double verify that there's no snake there. But for something for me to do that is just very valuable, very, very amazing, to be able to help out the people around me, to be able to even come and be able to influence in a way to be able to change the laws, change the rules, change the bylaws of some things, change the legislature in some ways, be able to upgrade and be able to do something different. That's something that I think most of us should start living more towards, instead of just following along in reality with what it is that we see that's going on. Because there's something about us as human beings and what it is that we do that I'm going to say is very, very powerful outside of everything that's out here. Everything out here, it just comes and it goes in a different way than us as human beings. But it's almost like this past short amount of time, years, 40 or 400, 500, 600 years of human beings' lives, we've been doing the same stuff that like all the vegetation out here does. It's literally just growing, passing away, and nothing even thinks about it, remembers about it, knows anything about it, even cares about it anymore. It just lived its life and it went away, and nothing was able to gain any sort of value from it. It just ends up in an empty waste. And that's something that I know us as human beings are so powerful that we used to do extremely powerful things that we in reality need to figure out how to be able to get back to that, so that we can figure out how to be able to give back to the 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 generations that are coming after us, to make sure that their life is set up to be able to have a nice, successful, easy life, easy access, being able to do and live and breathe and have a beautiful world to be able to be around. As opposed to today, I'm gonna tell you, even in the past 200 years, and especially the past 100 years, we've been really damaging and destroying everything that's out here. So it puts it in me that we're not caring too much about our grandkids and our great-grandkids and our great-great-great-great-great-great at all anymore today. We're so quick to just, I want it now, I want my fix, I want my fun, I want my reward, that we're just destroying what's coming next to us. And that's proven every day with just bills that we send off with, not bills like our personal bills, but in reality, yeah, that personal bills as well. But the money that we keep on taking to keep on trying to spread out in our government systems, with everything that goes on with that, we're taking some so that we can be cool today. And then all we're doing is just ruining everybody else in the future. That's something that in my life, I want to make sure that I'm working more towards how to be able to figure out how to be able to give a better life. And that may not be a monetary thing. That may be an educational thing. And for me, doing what it is that I do out here, something that I know is very, very valuable, something very, very powerful, is the means of being able to how to be able to take care of yourself when no one else is even around. The means of how to be able to collect and gather some food. The means of how to be able to collect and put a fire together. The means of being able to figure out how to be able to build a shelter and be able to stay in it, be able to figure out how to be able to make everything work in it. The means to be able to do that for somebody that's next to you, somebody that's around you, somebody that you care for and don't even care for. Someone that you would say in your mind, I just don't like that person, but yet you see him struggling and you're going to do everything you can to be able to make sure that that person has the means behind them to be able to live, survive, and do what it is that they need to do. And in reality, as long as they do it over there, I don't care what you're doing. Just don't try to bring your problems over here with what it is that I'm doing over here. And I have no issues with being able to try to coach and provide and be able to show and be able to teach every single thing. Life to me is that as a human being, as opposed to the life today that I see us as human beings are just wasting it. We're so focused on just ourselves that we're not focused upon what's going to come next from us. We're not focused on making sure that our kids are able to do what it is they need to do to be able to survive. We're trying to force and push kids all my age, all of us that are in our 30s, under about 45 and all under. We all been forced and force-fed this information of go to college and go to school and you're going to have a great life and a great time. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I know a lot of people, a majority of people that are around my age, that dream did not happen. So it's almost like we're setting up the next generations to just fail and just to fail and just to fail, as opposed to setting them up to actually succeed and setting them up to actually do something of substantial value. We just keep on doing this over and over, and today it's getting worse and worse I don't even know how to even explain what it is that I personally see today. With someone that I'm going to say is 15 years old, 16 years old, is nothing like what it is that I'm doing, what it is I am, just 20 years later. It's almost like there's 100, 150, 200 year gap here, and it's nothing but 20 years as compared to the skills and the skill set and what's being taught and what's being pushed. I remember in elementary school, having cooking class, having sewing class, having woodshop class, having mechanics work class, having all these classes. We did all of these things. We were very engaged with making sure that we had some skills of how to be able to do something, to be able to make something happen, be able to put things together, know how to put an idea together and actually put it on something real. Building structures, making clay, doing all kinds of things. We just don't do that anymore. So all we're doing today, over and over, generation after generation, is just sabotaging the next that's gonna come, because we want what we want now. And we want what we want right now. And we're not putting any sort of delayed gratification upon what it is that's gonna be coming next. So a life to me is making sure that I'm doing something so that somebody behind me can be able to have a better life, a better ease of life, a better way of life, a better time of life, more safety, more security, more comfort, and more ease of access. That's the point of what I think that majority of us should really focus upon, as opposed to focusing upon on our own selves. That a lot of times we think of our own selves, we just like, I'm telling you, we want all the comforts, we want the luxuries, but we're not going to be able to have that if we keep taking it for ourselves right now. We need to realize that there's some stuff that we have to like push off to the side of our own wants and our own desires, that we have to get the next person to make sure that they're going to be fine, that they're going to be good to go, and get the people that don't have anything at all. Half of our world right now, over 3-4 billion people on this planet, do not have access to clean water. Water to be able to allow them to be able to live past the age of a teenager. That in a lot of countries, their median age is under 20 years old. That's just outrageous to me, considering how much we throw water away out here. We spray golf courses with it. I mean, I get what y'all paying for it, so it is what it is. But all the other madness that we do out here with how we just waste it and just throw it away. And half of the entire billions of people do not have what it is that we just throw away. We just flush our toilet and just make 3 gallons just disappear every single time. And I'm going to say that those toilets are lying to us, for one. They say a certain amount, but when my water goes out, I got to fill it up. I know how many gallons I put in there because it's heavy to carry 4 to 5 gallons of water. But we just throw stuff away. We throw our resources away when a whole other half is just begging for it. Our lakes out here, our people in different places of the world would just be wishing to be able to put up shelter close to it, so that they would be able to drink what we look at as nasty lake water, nasty creek water, and they would be in an absolute blessed state because they're going to be drinking something that is substantially better than anything else that they've had. That's more of what our life should be about and should focus on. That there's some people out here that are doing pretty good. And for us that are doing pretty good, we should be focusing the majority of our energy on how to help out the people that aren't doing so good. Because those people we're never going to be able to evolve. We're never going to be able to get into a better state. We're never going to be able to upgrade our technology. We're never going to be able to upgrade our society. We're never going to upgrade nothing if we have more than half of the world that is still living in a way that is harmful to them just to breathe, just to be alive. That is something that majority of us should focus more and more of our time on, more of our energy on, more of our creative ways with, trying to figure out how to be able to help some people. And that's something that, to me, that's the point and the purpose of life. The point of life is to see that you could get yourself into a nice, relaxed state. We're never relaxed. We're never really calm. But we're calmer and relaxer than somebody else. And when we finally get into that state, we finally get into the ways of no longer trying to worry about depression and anxiety and any of these silly issues out here because of what's being shoved at us, because we can't get away from it. We can't get away from the pests. The pests are out there, but we got to figure out how to be able to manage and control ourselves through the pests, through the problems, through the drama, through the chaos. And we just figure out how to be able to get through it and we get past it. Once we get past that and we're starting actually being able to grow, to be able to live a life of value, a life of substance, a life of like these larger plants out here that are over 8 feet tall right now. They're starting to get to their completed of life. And there's a lot of us that are in that stage of our life right now, and all we're thinking and focusing on is I need to get a bigger boat, I need a better car, I need to figure out how to eat fancier food for my own self even. Where we should be worrying more about how do we make sure that we can spread this out and spread this around. And a lot of times we get stuck and we get manipulated, we get sucked into the whole concept and ideas of the money. Give money to these people. They don't need no money. And it's proven that over and over and all the time and millions of times over again. They don't need money. They need skills. They need education. They need somebody that has the passion and the drive behind them, that cares so much about what it is that they do, to teach that next person how to be able to do that, how to be able to access that, how to be able to figure out how to be able to put stuff together, how to build your own bridge. We can't build a bridge because it's going to break down and fall apart. Everything we build needs maintenance. If we don't teach them how to do the maintenance, how are they going to be able to do anything? If we don't teach them how to be able to build the things that you give to them, how are they going to be able to take care of it? That's something that we as a people should be focusing more of our life upon, more of our energy upon, more of our being upon, more of our essence upon. Because when this plant finally gets to its final stage and its final purpose, what is it going to do? It's going to give back to everything out here. Everything that could possibly eat a sunflower seed, which is a whole lot of birds out here, it's giving back and is giving back and it's going to give back everything that it had. And then when it finally just dwindles away and it goes to nothingness, it's going to give right back to the earth again. It's going to compost itself. It's going to break itself down. It's going to come and turn right back into dirt again, so that it can hopefully one of those seeds that fell from it will do it all over again, over and over and over. And that's the power of what we as human beings should be doing for another human being. Taking the seed that we have and making sure that we're putting it somewhere, putting it in someone's mind, putting it in someone's life, so that they can keep on doing it over and over and over again. So that your kids can do it, your grandkids can do it, your great-grand, and skip even just your own children, but just other people out here, other beings out here, other essences out here, everyone out here, all of us out here, so that we can all learn something from each other, so that we can keep that seed going and going and going and going and going, so it never, ever, ever goes away. That's the power of what I see with everything out here. That's why everything is on such a rampage mode of figuring out how to keep on populating and keep on doing what it's doing. because it knows that it needs to stay alive. It needs to keep going. It needs to give the information, all the wisdom, all the insights to its young so that it can continue to keep doing the same thing. And then the beautiful thing about all this out here is, like, especially when these plants, for instance, the one hits that seed, it knows more. It has more wisdom, it has more understanding because it actually lived that whole full life. It actually was able to build itself all the way up to do it. It had to deal with all the pests, it had to deal with all the issues, it had to deal with all the weather, it had to deal with all the changes, it had to deal with it all, and it was able to get through it. It's so many stories that need to be told about that so that the next person can be able to hear and be able to understand and be able to get a very good understanding of what to do to be able to make sure that they can be able to have that same level of success. And for me, one level of success that I know that I've been able to have, that I for sure want to be able to share and spread this seed that I know of that's been able to help me out, is the message of who Jesus Christ is and what he's all about. That has been something for me that's been able to greatly help me, transform me, and build me up to be able to allow me to do something fantastic on this planet that's allowing me to continue to keep on going and growing and cruising and seeing when the devastating things happen to me, seeing when challenging things happen to me, that I just keep on moving, I keep on pushing through it, and I keep on getting done. That's something for me that's inside of me to let me know that I should share that more and show more people about that and be able to give that information out more, because that's something that is very, very powerful. It's just as powerful as a sunflower that's going to be able to feed 1,000 birds out here, and then it's going to do it over again, because those birds themselves, not even just the plant itself, but the birds themselves are all going to take one seed and put it somewhere else to start the cycle again, because the birds also know the same way that us as human beings know. When something of value is there and you get to use it, you want to share it, you want to store it, you want to do what you can to be able to make sure that more people can be able to have access to that. And that's the concept of what I see with everything out here. Everything out here does that exact same thing. And that's something I think and realize and just really know inside of me is very, very powerful. And then with that, I just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for a very interesting question. And thank you for a very interesting time for me to just really sit here and think real hard about what it is that I'm even doing, where it is that I'm trying to go, what it is that's going on out here, what it is that I should focus more of my life on. And I'm thankful to know that sometimes I put my thoughts, because something that I've been asking all day about today is, I'm thinking about this too much. I feel like I shouldn't be. What should I be focusing more of my thinking patterns and my mindset on? And I'm thankful that something came to me today that allowed me to do that. And I'm going to say that that's the power of who I'm going to say is who Jesus Christ is all about. Is being able to get you to see what does truly matter, get you to see what you should really focus upon, get you to see what you should just let go. And not even just say let go, but just not focus too much on. It's there, it's good, it's doing all right over there. Stop trying to think so much about it and try to put so much in it, and just do what you need to do and get done what you need to get done. I'm so thankful to just have new inspiration, new life today, to just have that and then see that, and just to realize that things that I would worry about, I don't need to worry about. They're good, they're fine. Stop stressing, dude. Just let's move forward onto what does matter and making sure that you're doing what you said you're going to do, you're acting the way that you said you're going to be acting, and you're always performing the way that you said that you're going to perform. And that's, for me, something that I think is very, very, very powerful for us as human beings, especially powerful for today, the day of today. And I don't know why I say it's today, and it just had inspiration to say this today, but something that a lot of us men need to start changing what it is that we're doing and being about something completely different, and realizing that there's some people out here that are trying to sabotage and trying to hurt, the pests that are out there, the chaos that's out there. But we can't allow that to stop us from doing what we're doing. And the same with the women that are out here, the women that want to be women, the women that want to stand up and be strong, the women that want to teach their daughters and their sons right, to stand up and start doing what you're doing. The pests are out there, the chaos is out there, trying to deter you, trying to tell you that being a woman is wrong, trying to tell you that being a man is wrong, trying to tell you that living your life like this is wrong. It's not wrong to want to do what you want to do. Even though the world doesn't agree with it, you still got to focus and do what you got to do, because otherwise there's one thing that I do know as a matter of fact, of a fact on this life. If we stop doing what we're doing, we're not going to be here anymore. If we continue to keep living in the ways that we keep on living, we're not going to be here anymore. We're going to go to a point, then we're going to stop. We're going to stunt, and we're never going to be able to have the success of being able to actually fulfill anything. We're just going to start to fade away and dwindle away. Can we come back from that? Yes, but it's a matter of making sure that we're educated, making sure that we have the right information, making sure that we have the right knowledge. And I'm thankful to be able to have the right knowledge, and I'm thankful to be able to have access to the right education, and to continue to keep studying this education, and to keep on studying my own self and studying others around me, and studying everything about this. Yeah, or you all stickered up again. And studying everything that's out here to just really get a good grip of what it is, how to keep on doing what it is that we're doing. And just in a way of knowing that I'm not right. And who says I'm right? Who says I'm wrong? But just me and what I see and what I do is I want to figure out what that right and what that wrong is. And something in me is saying that today, as a whole, as a collective, especially here in the United States of America, we're doing something wrong. And it may not be wrong or right in the way that you may thinking it, but it's wrong in a way that we got to make sure that we're taking care of what we need to take care of, or we're not going to have a seed to be able to give to the next. That we're just gonna do it. We're gonna fight each other to the death. We're gonna try to say, no, this is my space, no, this is my space, but we have enough to be able to have both of us to be able to grow, so that millions and billions of people can be affected by the 300 million people that live in the United States of America. We have it that great here. We have accessibility of that greatness here to be able to make sure that the billions that don't have can have. And that's something that I'm thankful to just know that that's more of the focus that we should be focusing upon. And that's something that I give everyone a challenge, is making sure that I know you're good. If you can even watch this, I know you're good. You have something that majority of people on this earth does not have, that alone right there. I don't care if you're behind on your bills. I don't care if you still know how you're going to figure it out. If you can even just watch this, you are doing better than over half of the world. Over 4 to 5 billion people do not have the access to even watch this and to have the time, the energy, the resources to even watch a video right now. So I'm going to say that if you can even see me, you have something inside of you to be able to help out somebody and be able to do something better for somebody. And that's something that I want to challenge every single person with, that ever even gets to be able to see me, interact with me. We got to do something, because there's a whole bunch of people out here that are hurting. Thank you.